This is the ExtraTime.com League of Ireland Voice Notes podcast, and we're in the Ryan McBride Brandywell, where Derry City have beaten Dundalk by 3-0. McAneff with the opening goal in the first half, then Kavanagh and Duffy added goals in the second half. They were all good goals. The third one really impressed me. O'Reilly burst down the right hand side, put the ball in, and Duffy finished it off. I'm joined by former Derry City and of course Bohemians player Gareth McGlynn, who's a regular here at the Ryan McBride Brandywell. Gareth, as we speak, Shamrock Rovers lead by 2-1. By the time people are listening, that game will be over. If they care that much, presumably they'll know the result. We will get to it. Ian Morris will join us. But here at the Ryan McBride Brandywell, what did you make of what you saw?
Brilliant game, definitely. Derry City's probably most complete performance at home this season. Not only did they score 3 great goals, they scored at the right times. It's been a problem all season, and Ruaidhrí Higgins has touched on it post-match, is Derry City feel to kill off teams. They feel to get that second goal. Even when they scored tonight, Dundalk got back into it, and to be honest with you, were probably the better team for the last 15-20 minutes of the first half. But the second half, Derry City picked it up again, and to be honest with you, from then on, they scored at the right times. The counter-attack was the second goal and the third goal. So really good performance, some great performance from players that came in. Brandon Kavanagh with an unbelievable goal. You've got young O'Reilly, who basically did all the hard work for the third goal as well. So some great performances, no injuries. Ruaidhrí Higgins will be happy.
And what was the difference? Did they just play better tonight? Did he switch things around? Why was it so comfortable tonight when previously, here especially, when you've taken the lead, you haven't been able to build on it?
Well, Oisin, I think he's seen the Dundalk team before the game, and it's give the players a real lift, because there's a lot of big names missing. Hoban didn't start, Kelly didn't start. There was a few Dundalk were a few players down. I think that gave them the confidence. Not only that, but they played 5-10 yards further up the pitch. You could see the high line from Derry City. They wanted to press them. And when Higgins first came on board, just two and a bit years ago, that was the ethos of how he wanted to play. He wanted to play high up the pitch, Shane McElhinney's place, McJannick's pace. He's now got Ben Doherty left back. He wants to play high, and he saw that in Dundalk tonight. Pressed them high, and they got the goals at the right time. So I think that's what really gave them the confidence to go out and really give this a good game tonight, because they've been lacking a good home performance, not only this year, even last year, and I'm glad he got it tonight.
I'm guilty of looking at Shamrock Rovers and kind of focusing on Jack Byrne. I'm guilty of focusing on Michael Duffy when it comes to Derry City. Am I putting too much focus on him tonight by saying he played the 90 and that maybe made a bit of a difference? They always look a bit sharper when he's on the pitch, especially when he's fit.
Absolutely. And see, when you have young Brandon Kavanagh on the right hand side, you haven't got the same penetration. He's going to come inside in that wand of a left foot. When you've played Graydon on the right side and Duffy on the left, it gives it the opposition team, you can't double up on both of them. It's nearly impossible. There's just not enough players on the pitch. So it gives it, but you see it tonight, it was very focused on the left hand side. But when you've got Ben Doherty playing behind Michael Duffy, it almost gives you a two-pronged approach, and they are really, really, really good down that left hand side. And then when you've got McAneff in the middle, and again Cameron McJannett's got to come into that field, you've got the energy of O'Reilly. It's a dynamic, it's a much different midfield than you had when you had Patchin, when you had McElhinney, and when you had Diallo.
We're being uber critical here, but are you still missing a striker? Well, you have him, he's injured. How much do you need to get Whelan back and fit?
Listen, it looks, it hasn't been confirmed by the club, but it looks as if Whelan's going to be out for the long term. So this is going to be something that they're going to have to rectify probably in the summer.
Will you need to sign someone, or do you have the weapons and tools that you need?
Ruaidhrí Higgins will say that he's got the weapons, but I think he needs to sign someone. I think he'll be on the lookout. Listen, Ruaidhrí Higgins doesn't sign players just for the sake of it. He'll make sure that they're going to sign the right type of player. There's no doubt about that. Cian Kavanagh's a good player. He's a good body, but you need bodies around him. You need pace around him. He can't get around the pitch, and Jamie just needs a few goals to get back into form.
Let's talk a bit about Dundalk. Do you think the 4-day turnaround, well, you could argue 3-day turnaround, got to them? Because they looked jaded at times tonight. They just looked a bit flat.
Oisin, Dundalk came to the Brandywell last year and took 6 points in the Brandywell last year. They are a shadow of the team that did that last year. Yes, I mean, some of the players on there, I wouldn't known quite a lot of them, but they looked tired and they looked jaded. They didn't have that same spark. Bar the captain, the centre half, Alfie Lewis, the other centre midfielder, and until young O'Kane and Hoban, once them two came on, then they started to create real problems for Derry City. You saw Hoban had an unbelievable chance there for a header at 2-0. He gets that and it's 2-1. Dundalk looked to be on the up there. Then Derry City, as I said, they scored at the right times. They break away, get the third goal and kill the game off. But until O'Kane and Hoban came on, they looked jaded, I agree.
Is this league title alive very much so, or would you fancy Rovers?
Ruaidhrí Higgins won't be talking about the league title. What Ruaidhrí Higgins is trying to do is stay in the title race until he gets all these players back. You've got Maron Conley, you've got Patrick to come back. Dummigan was on the bench, he came on, he got 20 minutes, which will be great news for Derry City fans. You've got players to come back into this, so we need to stay in the hunt until the summer.
I know Monday nights are not the best nights to judge an atmosphere, but this place is fantastic. Tonight it was very decent, despite the fact, it is Monday night and there's distractions. Liverpool are on the telly, so maybe that would have taken a few numbers, but certainly a good place to come and watch football.
Listen, all around the grounds, you've seen it in League of Ireland grounds all over. The numbers are up, but at the Brandywell, it's a sellout most weeks. I mean, you get phone calls all the time. Can you get me a ticket? Can you get me in? It's brilliant for the city. And when they keep putting on performances like that, it'll be even more difficult to get a ticket.
Gareth McGlynn, thank you very much for joining us on the ExtraTime.com League of Ireland Voice Notes podcast. As I said, reaction to come from the Shamrock Rovers St. Pat's game. Ian Morris is watching that one for us. But right now, let's get some reaction from both the Derry City and Dundalk camps. And we'll go to that straight away. This is the ExtraTime.com League of Ireland Voice Notes podcast, joined by Dundalk manager Stephen O'Donnell following a 3-0 defeat to Derry City. Stephen, your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, disappointing. We give up cheap goals, poor goals at poor moments. And from a physicality point of view, in regards our duels and competing, I thought we were second best tonight. Had a foothold 15 minutes or so before half time, up until half time. And then after a couple of minutes in the second half, we let the game drift away from us again and gave up a second poor goal. Went for it a little bit then at 2-0 and had a couple of really good chances. And then when you throw a bit of caution to the wind, you're always in danger of being a little bit open on the counter, and that's what happened. But overall, just a little bit disappointing from a physicality point of view from us tonight. But we've been on a good run, a lot of positive results, and we have a quick turnaround now on Friday, and we have an opportunity to rectify that. I
appreciate you made changes, but was fatigue a factor tonight?
No, I don't think so. No, I didn't look out and see tired bodies. No, I don't think that was an issue tonight. We made 4 changes, so from that side of it, I don't think it was. And just at the minute, the way our squad is at, 4 changes is the max we probably can make.
I was about to say you'll be hoping for a reaction on Friday night, but I guess these are professional footballers. You'll demand a reaction.
Yeah, exactly. And it's par for the course. You have 3 games in a week. You win one, you lose one. They come around thick and fast. There's no time to, obviously, we try and rectify what we saw tonight, but there's no time to dwell. It rolls around quick on Friday, and positive result on Friday, and it will have been a very good last 8 games as a whole.
Cheers, Stephen.
Thank you.
This is the ExtraTime.com League of Ireland Voice Notes podcast, and I'm joined by Derry City manager Ruaidhrí Higgins. Ruaidhrí, a 3-0 victory against Dundalk. It's a good win, but is it your best performance of the season so far?
Is it our best performance of the season so far? Possibly, and this sounds strange, but we drew here 0-0 with Dundalk earlier in the season, and we were outstanding. But in terms of complete over the course of 90 minutes, it probably is.
What made it your best performance?
I think the freshness we brought into the team. We took our opportunities when they presented themselves. We looked hungry, we looked fit. We played some good football at times, particularly in the first half hour. I thought some of our stuff was really, really good. And we've ran out deserved and worthy winners. Did
you start, and this will seem maybe like a bit of a silly question, a bit further up the pitch? Did you press on a bit more tonight?
No, I think we've been guilty of coming off it when we've gone in front. We always start aggressively in games, always. But I think we kept that aggression going throughout the game, and we were really eager not to retreat, because we've seen in Drogheda, as much as we were good in the first half, we probably weren't as confident as we are now, and held on to what we had a bit more. Likewise against Bohemians, we should have put the game to bed and killed it by half time. And I think the message was leading into this game, once we got the first drive on and kick on, and the players have done that, so real credit to them.
I tend to obsess on creative players, Jack Byrne, Michael Duffy. I think there's a reason for that, but your defence tonight were very solid and kind of allowed the attacking players to go and do their thing.
We've 3 clean sheets in a row now, which is fantastic, and it brings confidence right throughout the group. But you're right, they give us a real platform in the game and use the ball really well, and I think you can defend with the ball as well. It's part of defending, and at times we kept the ball well, and at times we attacked well, and when we had to defend, we did. They had a big chance actually at 2-0, which would have give us a nervy last few minutes, but by and large, I think we were quite comfortable and thoroughly deserved their win.
And you mentioned it there to the written press and some of the local radio guys from Drive 105 and BBC Foyle, that Monday nights have been an issue here. So how pleasing is it that you've got a big win on a Monday night? It might seem like a small thing, but it seems to me like you think it's a big thing.
I do think it's a big thing. We, particularly the Pats and then Rovers on the Monday, I have to take responsibility for that as well, because I went with the same group that beat Pats, and we lacked freshness and energy. So we've had to learn from that, and we freshened it up. We made 4 changes, 3 of the front 4 were changed and give us real energy at the top end of the pitch. And these things are great when they work, but at times, obviously they don't always work. But tonight we've done well and deserved our win.
I've been going to League of Ireland games since 1999, but tonight was my first League of Ireland match here. I've been to a European match. This place is special, isn't it? I mean, look, I know there's an issue with the pitch. You'd probably prefer grass. But for those who are from the outside and come in, it actually really strikes you how atmospheric it is, how good a crowd you have. It's like there's just something between you and the crowd here. I can't quite put my finger on it, but is it a factor for you? Is it one of the reasons that you love managing this, here? Is it something the players thrive on?
Well, I think over the last, particularly 18 months, since we brought, say, Patrick and Michael back, I think that really galvanised things and really caught the attention of the public, and they got right behind it. The chairman's been brilliant, and the board of directors have really got behind it, and there's a good connection. You're right, it is a special football club. They're demanding as well. They expect they win, and that's brilliant. You have to play with pressure when you work for this football club and work under pressure. But you're right, it's special. Like, there's a real connection there at the minute. We're selling the place out on a regular basis, which is brilliant. And to be honest, when I took the job, it was my ambition more than, I know winning trophies and all that's absolutely brilliant, but was to get the connection between the supporters and the club back and sell the place out on a regular basis. That was the ambition, that was the drive, and now we're doing it. Can we now kick on and compete to win trophies? I know we won the cup last year, but you need to want more, you need to be ambitious, and I think this is an ambitious football club. And I think, listen, a month ago we lost back-to-back home games here, and the war was over, the world was coming to an end, but we've responded exceptionally well from that, and so we know that as much as we've won a few games on the spin now, you're only a defeat away from going the other way. So we just need to keep going, stay focused, and drive on and try and keep that good field factor around.
And finally, how good was it to get Paddy McLaughlin in? Alan, a huge loss, a great coach. Paddy, the same, did a great job at Cliftonville. I saw them a good few times under Paddy. And philosophy-wise, he seems to be quite similar to you. So how important was it to get someone like Paddy in, who not only seems to know your game plan and like it, but also, obviously, he knows this place and it's part of him?
I think Paddy's club is Derry City Football Club. I know he hasn't been involved here for a long time, I think 2005, so 18 years since he last represented this club. But Derry's his club, that's his passion. He's from Craigan. He loves the club. We think similar on how we want the game to be played, and he's a strong personality with good values and morals. So Conor Lugray as well. I think the balance between the three of us is good, and it'll grow. We're only get. I know Paddy a long time, but we've only just started working together, and I think it'll evolve and improve and develop. But we enjoy each other's company. All those sorts of things is really important as well. So we just need to kick on and stay driven and focused and try and win the next match.
Rory, appreciate your time.
Thanks, Oisin.
And that's all the reaction from the Ryan McBride Brandywell. Let's get a bit of meat on the bones of what happened at Tallaght Stadium. Shamrock Rovers overcoming St Patrick's Athletic by 3-2. It means they remain 2 points clear at the top of the table. Watching this one for us, Ian Morris.
Huge 3-2 win for Rovers in Tallaght against St Pat's. Coming into the game, Pats looked a lot more balanced with players coming back from injury and suspension. Setting up in their 4-2-3-1 formation, Gravotsky comes back in at centre-back, Curtis back at right-back, Lennon into his natural position in the middle of midfield, and Owen Doyle comes in up top. Rovers setting up in their typical 3-4-2-1 formation, back on home turf, looking to extend their winning streak and stay on top of the table. Pats in the first half, full of energy, full of endeavour. Jamie Lennon back in the middle of the park, and he was really the catalyst for everything they'd done well in the first half. 18 minutes, breaks up play with a great sliding tackle. Chris Forrester picks up the bits, slides it across to McClelland, whose shot is brilliantly blocked by Pico Lopez. Pats did have a breakthrough. That man Lennon again breaks up play in the Rovers half. Ball drops to Forrester. Cheeky little nutmeg on Gary O'Neill. Mark Doyle picks it up, right foot strike, takes a big deflection and bounces in off Leo Poles upright for Pats 1-0. Linus relatively quiet in the Pats goal. Rovers' best chance, a tame header from Lee Grace from Jack Bourne's free kick. That all changed in the 46th minute of the first half. Neil Ferrugia does great, picking Curtis's pocket on the byline, slips it into Graham Burke on the corner of the 18-yard box. Burke chops inside onto his right foot, drills one down the goalkeeper's neck, who tips the ball over for a corner. From that corner, Jack Bourne, brilliant ball in once again. Lee Grace, unmarked, rises highest and heads the ball into the middle of the goal. Second half, different affair altogether. Rovers controlled the tempo, controlled the possession, and on 67 minutes, the pressure came with its reward when the skipper, Ronan Finn, dinks a ball to the back post and Richie Tell's diving header puts Rovers 2-1 up. Pats nearly equaliser, fairly sharpish. Linus comes and claims Rovers' corner, sets Atakoi off in a 1v1 race with Ferrugia. Ferrugia gets there first, but then sells Pole short with a back pass, but unfortunately for Pats, Atakoi can't steer the shot on target. The equaliser finally comes with 5 minutes to go. Curtis hits one from 25 yards. Didn't look like it would cause Pauls too much trouble. The ball skips up off the surface. Pauls parries it into the path of Pat's substitute Ben McCormick, and 2-2 in the game. Rovers nearly answer straight back through Johnny Kenny, but he can't get a clean contact on the super ball flashed across the 6-yard box by Neil Ferrugia. Rovers do eventually get the winner. Towell unleashes a rocket that Linus palms into the 6-yard box. Johnny Kenny thinks he's going to redeem himself for his previous miss, but is brought down by McGrath. No questions about the decision for the penalty. Richie Towell's down, bottom right, 3-2 Rovers. John Daly will be disappointed tonight, coming away with nothing, but yet again, Rovers show their class and their resilience, keep their fantastic run going and sees them clear at the top of the table.
Well, that's almost it from the extratime.com League of Ireland Voice Notes podcast, coming to you today, which is Tuesday to you, but Monday night as I speak, as I walk out of the Ryan McBride Brandywell. Don't forget, Luke Jordan is back with a deep dive into everything that's happening in the League of Ireland world with the extratime.com League of Ireland podcast. That'll be out tomorrow, Wednesday or Thursday, so keep an eye out for that. No point in me going through the fixtures next Friday night and the tables and all that. You know all that. If you're listening to a podcast, it means you can go onto the internet and find out all that stuff yourself. The upshot of tonight is that, well, last night as you listen, is that Shamrock Rovers are 2 points clear at the top of the table. As always, you can read the match reports from those games and previews to everything that's coming up on the extratime.com website, and you can get in contact with us via Twitter at Extratime News or on my own personal Twitter account at Oisin Langan. I will talk to you very soon. Take care. Bye bye.